children. Welcome to my channel, Assistance by Mrs. D. Nandan. Today, we are going to begin with a new lesson in chemistry. So, we begin with a new lesson today, children, the characteristics of the chemical reaction. This is lesson 6 from your book. We are going to begin with that. Now, children, in the previous videos, I had already taught you what is a chemical reaction, right? When two substances mix together, they react together and something new has been formed as a result of their mixing together or reacting together, children. That is what is termed to be a chemical reaction. That means when things will combine together to form something new, it is termed to be a chemical reaction. Now in a chemical reaction, children, a chemical change takes place, right? A chemical change means something new has been formed. We have learnt of two kind of changes, children, physical change and a chemical change. So a chemical change is the one in which something new has been formed. A new product has been formed is known as a chemical change. How will we come to know, children? Now if I mix two chemicals together or if I mix two substances together, how will I come to know that a chemical reaction has actually taken place? So in this lesson, children, we are going to see what happens, what are the different characteristics, what are the different observations that one makes when a chemical reaction has taken place. And that is how we come to know that actually something new has been formed. So in this lesson, children, we are going to see the characteristics of a chemical reaction. So let's get started. So children, we begin with the chemical change. Atoms are not fixed into their molecules forever. Molecules can come apart and their atoms then join together again in new different combinations. This is called a chemical change. You know this. Right now I told you, children, that when we mix two things together, that means the reactants, when they come together, children, then their chemical bonds that are present between the different molecules, they start breaking. And when they break, children, you know molecules are made up of atoms. So they split into their individual atoms and these atoms again rejoin. That means they come along with the other atoms and they join together to form the new molecules. That is known as a chemical change, or that is what we call it as a chemical reaction. The atoms in a molecule of one substance break their links or bonds with each other. They shuffle their partners and form the links or the bonds with the other different atoms that I told you right now, children. This results in the formation of new substances with different features and the properties. Now when a new substance will be formed, children, their properties, their chemical composition, everything differs. That is why we say a chemical change has taken place. Chemical change needs energy. Now for this thing to happen, children, that is for the breaking of the bonds of the reactants and for reformation, they need a lot of energy. And this energy they get in the form of heat, in the form of light, in the form of electricity. Now many reactions, children, commonly you have seen they take place in the presence of heat. That means when you are going to heat them, when you are going to supply the heat to them, then only they will start taking place. Like for light, I am giving you an example, children, photosynthesis. You have learnt in bio also. Photosynthesis will only take place in the presence of sunlight. So that light is actually giving it the energy for the change to take place. Then for electricity, children, we have a reaction of electrolysis of water. Now electrolysis of water means, children, breaking of water into hydrogen and oxygen by the passage of electric current is known as electrolysis. So these are that the reactions require energy for further formation of the new products. Now for the definition of chemical reaction, children, you can take the last few lines. A chemical reaction may take place when two or more reactants will come together with one another and will transfer of energy will also take place. That means they will come together, they will react together and they will lead to the formation of the new products. So after this, children, we start with the characteristics. Now how will I come to know or how will I observe that a chemical reaction has taken place? So the first and the foremost characteristic is, children, evolution of a gas. That means the gas starts coming out. See, most of the chemical reactions are accompanied by the evolution of the gas. There are many reactions which will explain this. Now the first one is given over here, children. I will try to do this and show you also. We start with the first one, children. When vinegar is poured on baking soda, then bubbles of carbon dioxide gas come out quickly. Water and sodium acetate are also formed. Now look at the reaction, children. CH3COOH is acetic acid. NaHCO3 is sodium bicarbonate, or in simple words you call it as baking soda, children, that is used by your mothers in home. Now when they come together, children, a new compound is formed. Now see how you read the name, children. It is sodium acetate, water and carbon dioxide. Now I'm going to do this experiment and I'm going to show you how it actually happens. Okay, children, see, I have taken baking soda. The formula is sodium bicarbonate, you call it, and the formula is NaHCO3. Now this I have taken a little bit of it. Now I'm going to add to it vinegar, which is also known as acetic acid, and let's see what will happen. See, I've just mixed it and you can see a lot of effervescence and the bubbling started taking place. What was this happening? This was showing the reaction between the two and the bubbling that you had seen, and still you can see. So the bubbling that you had seen, children, the effervescence, that was actually carbon dioxide that was seen coming out. So when I had mixed it, I could see the effervescence taking place, and that was showing the formation of the gas that was coming out, and that gas was carbon dioxide. Right? So this shows how the mixing of the two takes place. Okay. Let's see the next one, children. When sodium metal is added to water, then it reacts vigorously, liberating hydrogen gas and forming sodium hydroxide. Now that means, children, when we take sodium, now sodium is a very soft metal, you can cut it easily with a knife, but it is stored. When you are going to store it in the lab and all, children, you will see it is stored under oil. That means it is stored in the oil bottle because it reacts vigorously if it comes in contact with the air or with water. So that is why it is stored properly. And then when you take a little bit of sodium and you add it to cold water, children, a vigorous reaction takes place, giving formation to hydrogen gas. Now this arrow over here means, children, that the gas is coming out. A lot of heat energy is given and sodium hydroxide is being formed. Third, when zinc metal is reacted with dilute sulfuric acid. Now this is also a reaction, children, which is taken for the lab preparation of hydrogen gas. Now what do they do is they take granulated zinc, and then on this granulated zinc, slowly sulfuric acid is added. Now when it is added slowly, children, a reaction takes place. Zinc sulfate is being formed and hydrogen gas starts coming out. Now in order to test, now because hydrogen can't be seen, children, how will you test the gas? If you take a burning splinter and you put it into a jar of hydrogen, it burns with a pop sound. You can hear a clear pop sound coming out. So that is an indication that the gas is hydrogen. Coming to the next one, children, when copper sulfide, right, CuS, is treated with hydrochloric acid, it gives off foul smelling gas. That means a very bad smelling gas comes out, and this bad smelling gas is hydrogen sulfide. See this, H2S is given out, and this smells so bad that when it is being done, when these experiments are being done in the lab, everybody nearby comes to know that hydrogen sulfide is being produced. Why? Because it smells like rotten eggs, children. So this is the observation also. CuS plus HCl will give us CuCl2, copper chloride, and H2S will be formed, that is hydrogen sulfide gas. So after seeing these reactions, children, we come to know that the first characteristic about a chemical reaction is that they give out a gas. Now next characteristic is, children, change of color is observed. That means the color change will be seen very clearly. There are certain chemical reactions which are accompanied with a change in color. Like for example, when crystals of copper carbonate are taken, children. Now copper carbonate is actually green in color. Now something which is green in color, when you take it and when the reaction starts, that means you strongly heat it, then it will change the color to form a black compound of copper oxide. Now this becomes very clear, children, because something which is green in color, when you heat it and it changes the color and become black, you can clearly see it. And this black color compound is nothing but it is copper oxide, and even carbon dioxide gas is given out. Now again, carbon dioxide cannot be seen, but if you make this gas pass through lime water, it will change the color of lime water, will become milky. Or another thing is, if you bring a burning splinter at the mouth of the test tube, then you will see that the flame will get extinguished. Why? Because carbon dioxide will not support burning. Right? See the reaction, children. CuCO3, when it is heated strongly, it breaks into CuO, that is copper oxide, that is black in color, and carbon dioxide gas is released. Coming to the next one, children, if we take hydrated crystals of copper sulfate. Now hydrated means that it contains the water of crystallization. Now this 5H2O is actually, children, the water of crystallization, right? So this is known as hydrated crystals of copper sulfate. Now these are blue in color. These are very good blue in color. When they are heated strongly, that means you start heating, then what will happen to this water of crystallization, children? That will start moving out. The 5 water molecules, the crystal will lose its 5 molecules, and then the color will change to white. Now this is hydrated copper sulfate, which is blue in color. When you heat it, it changes into normal copper sulfate, children, which is white in color. Now this is from blue. When it changes to white, the color change is very clear, and this shows that a chemical reaction has taken place. Let's see further, children. When red lead oxide, now this lead oxide is red in color, children, is heated strongly, it forms a yellow colored lead monoxide. Now this you can see, children, red lead oxide, that is Pb3O4. When you strongly heat it, it changes into lead monoxide, which is yellow in color, and oxygen gas is given out. Right? The last one says, children, when lead nitrate crystals, which are white in color. Now this lead nitrate crystals are actually, children, white in color, and when you heat them strongly, they start decomposing. That means they start breaking to form lead monoxide, which is again yellow in color, that we had seen it over here only, children. So it is yellow in color. And then underline this, children, a reddish brown nitrogen gas is also given out, which is nitrogen dioxide, and even oxygen is given out. Now this gas is, children, reddish brown in color, so it becomes very clear that this gas is given out. But oxygen being absolutely, it has no color, taste or smell, then how will we come to know that oxygen is given out, children? We bring a burning splinter near the mouth of the test tube, so the flame will shoot up, showing that oxygen gas is being given out. Now this I am going to show you one picture which will demonstrate this. Now just look at this picture, children. See, this nitrogen dioxide gas they are showing is coming out, right? Oxygen gas is seen over here, children. You can check over here with a burning splinter, right? And see, pale yellow lead monoxide has been shown over here, right? So something which is white in color, when you take and when you start heating, it changes into pale yellow lead monoxide. Reddish brown gas can be seen coming out, and a burning splinter can rekindle over here at the mouth of the test tube. So this is the reaction, children. This is very important. You should know how to write it and how to balance it, right? So that's it for today's video, children. I hope I made myself very clear to you and you have understood each and every point that I have explained to you in today's video. If you have really understood, you know what is to be done. Please do like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And please hit the bell icon, because after that you will be notified with every new video that I'm going to upload. See you very soon with rest of the videos upcoming soon. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.